Hey everybody, Cole here, and welcome back to the second video of a little series where we focus on WordPress and how to get your business started on WordPress or just building pages on WordPress so you guys can demolish your competition on the magical digital landscape that we have out there today. In our previous video, I honestly just went something super simple, talking about how to get logged in. Where do you go? You go to the WP admin section whenever you are searching your domain name. And then once you log in, you'll see a dashboard, which would look like this. This is just a quick overview. I know you guys are probably going back to back with these videos, but I'm just making sure you understand as we build on top of each other. And where we went is we went to pages, and we either hit add new there, or we hit add new on this page. So we hit add new, brought us to a page that actually looks like this. I went ahead and named this page going along with my naming categorization I said here. Name of the page dash LP. This is just going to be for best practice, keeping things organized and in place so that way in the future you know what the hell you're dealing with, and it's perfect for anybody that comes to your site that's going to be working in the back, because they'll know exactly where is this supposed to be. Is this a main page that someone's going to, or is this a final page where someone's already contacted you? You're trying to maybe push them to something else. Hoping we'll go through both of those. But moving on, we're going to go into the backend editor of WP Bakery, which is this purple icon section here. Now, we have a few different things we can go through and do, and one is plus, which is also a plus here, which is the pre-built, well, sort of pre-built elements, is the elements that you have available to add into the site. Now, let's just take that one, for example. We're going to save draft. I'm going to save this real quick for you. Whoops. I must have been sitting there for too long. So we're going to do this again. I have Amanda. There's this. Let's do clients. I want to do something that you guys can really see because I have to add a bunch of stuff to it. Boom. And let's just say I want to choose pricing table. We'll do a pricing table. This sometimes takes a little bit to load. We're going to just leave it exactly how it is, just for proof of concept. We're going to save the draft. Don't worry about publishing it, which is this blue button here. I'm going to open this in a tab. Boom. Look at that. We built without me doing anything. Obviously, there's some nice visual elements that we need to update, but you do have something here. It's clickable, it's movable, it does have some type of design to it. Slow and steady. This isn't pretty yet, but it will be. For now, we're going to delete this. So one of the things we have is we have just a traditional text block, as you see here. Go in, you can edit it, type whatever you want, you can save the changes. You see I made the fancy changes. Then you also have an add a template section. Now, this is also very popular with WP Bakery, as they actually pre-build quite a few templates that are pretty good. Oftentimes, you will have to make some serious adjustments to them, but in the visuals, you'll be able to see a lot of good examples or ideas of how you can make these look. Now, again, you can build these templates 100% through all of these elements, and you do not need to use the templates. But if it's your first time, it might be helpful to go about doing it that way, so you get a feel for how these things can look, and just to get some nice satisfaction that you've finished a page, especially if this is your first time using WordPress and WP Bakery. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to start here with add a template. Now, as you see here, they have banners, blog sections, clients, so on and so forth. What we're going to go through and start with is we'll create a header section, and we're going to go from the top all the way down to the bottom of the page, and we're just going to go through and use their templates to start. The next one, we'll rebuild one, and we'll go through and doing it element by element so you guys can get a feel for how to do each one. Alrighty, give me just a second. I'm going to grab some water. Sorry about that. Alrighty, so there's quite a few pretty good looking ones. I always say Stupid simple, the better. If you try to go with too many fancy element designs and so on, what often ends up happening is it just ends up looking like crap. And it's better to look clean and professional than messy and, well, ugly. So what we're going to go with is let's choose this guy. Now, holy cow, as you can see, we have 3 things here. There's all these things that were here originally. Well, what's really cool is we can go through and edit each one of these. They have different header styles. Header main just means that this is the primary header that you'll be using. They have all these different element changes that you can do to each section. And as you see here, you see these different edit icons, these little pins sections. This is how you edit any of these elements. So this is something to notice. We're going through this. But you see that this whole entire block, these 3 blocks with header, header nav, button, free trial, etc. All of this is locked within this element. And what this element is a row. How this works is, you see how this section is let's take this, boom, and you have that. So you have this stuck in there like this. Let me delete this because we do not need this. Cool. Now, how this works is you have a block of text or pre-built sort of columns and not columns, this whole thing's a column, but this whole row here, this whole row is its own element. So what this here should show is when we save the draft and we take it live, you should just see, let me actually let this page update. It's pretty key to make sure this is updated, so whenever you preview this, you're previewing the most up-to-date version. As you see, I got ahead of myself. Man, it's not wanting to show me the updated version. It's okay. It's okay. We'll keep going. And I can show you some stuff as we get some more content in here. So we're going to go through and we'll add an extra element. But rather than having to click here, which would bring you to this whole section, like we're going to go through and do in the later videos, we're going to keep going through and just finish up this template using pre-built templates. Make our lives easy and just to get some shit on the board, so to speak. So we got our nice little header. Maybe we want to add a banner below it. Banners are always great. You know, get ourselves a nice, beautiful little banner in there. Get this nice here. Boom. Then we'll add, got ahead of myself. As you see here, whenever we added this element, it just went straight below the element that was above it. It automatically does it for you. You just don't need to be stressed out. It should just automatically pre-populate into the area you want it to be in. So we just added this. What I would probably say is that's some blue space. Let's get some white space in there. Let's do, you know what? Let's do this. And then we shall do, let's do pricing. And we'll do services. We'll do a services with, we're going to do a services with no gap. Now, what you'll end up seeing is that a lot of this, although you see these templates here, a lot of this actually, at least in my experience, does not 100% port over to your website. So you might not see the black and white version and the colored version over here and this blue content in the middle, but you might get something more bland. So white, maybe some empty boxes where you have to add the images. So just keep an eye out for that because again, they're not in the business of giving you everything that you want. They're in the business of trying to give you as much as little as they possibly can while you're still being satisfied. So it's still going to be great content. But what we did here is, moving on, we added header bar. I'm actually going to get rid of this header bar because I feel like it might be interfering with the one I currently have. We have a custom heading, which is that big blue one with the button. We added a content box, and then we have works section, a plan section, and then we're going to add we're going to do a footer. We'll add this footer. And then what we'll do is I'll show you what will happen. So let's say you want to add something above something else, but you use this template. Let's take that. And then how this will work is, as you remember from the previous conversation here, is that this whole element just keeps dropping below and you end up putting it all in the wrong place. This whole section here is not this. See sample plans and this? These are separated. Now this section here, it can get a little bit confusing, but this section and this section together are actually your footer menus. So what we need to do is we need to scroll to these little, what are these? Outward arrow icons. And what this does is allow you to drag a combined elements or individual elements, depending on what you're grabbing, and move them around on this page. So, for example, let's say I wanted to move this campus life up. Boom, right there. Okay, see, I just made a quick little change, and it is there. You see this little highlighted or spaced section? You're going to see that whenever I move that. This is just showing you where it will go when you're done. All right. Now we have just uploaded the page, or we have just sort of pre-populated a page. I haven't done any visuals. We have no clue what this thing's going to look like, but we do know that through the templates, it shouldn't look terrible. It should at least give us a guiding light on what will be there. Okay, I'm gonna save this. Okay. I have a cache here. As you see here, I use a caching plugin to help clean up and speed up the site. So if I purge the cache, we should be able to see the saved draft. Should be able to see the update, because usually sometimes the this preview page here doesn't work for me. What we'll do is, generally I don't recommend this, but just for the sake of the tutorial, I just want to help you guys get a good look at everything. We're going to publish the page and we'll just mess around with it as we go through this. So, like I was saying, is you don't see a lot of color here, but we can add it in. But you see there would be a white section. You see this little box. This little box means that they had an image, but they took it from us. As you can see there as well. Pricing. Hey, look, there's an image that followed along. And then here was where the footer section would be. So, within, 10 minutes or so, you can at least get something stupid simple. It needs a hell of a lot of work up, but it's a great start. Now, if we're wanting to actually edit these elements, what we're wanting to do is, let's get rid of this image that they had. This here, background, you can just, if you wanted to just do a background color, you can just do this. Let's just change that to that for blue. We're going to make this white because blue on blue looks terrible. Colors. Holy crap, cool colors. Yeah, there it is. This whole system is going to take a little bit to get used to, but I can guarantee that when you're done, you'll be happy you used WordPress, because it's not really as terrible as everybody says it is. People just aren't used to the platform. So, alrighty. So this here, remember we had the, I'll leave this other page open so you guys can see as a reference as we're going through. So you remember this was all blue, this was blue. This is cool. You see this has background, but you just could not read it. And you see this here, which is the second block. I like to think of whenever I'm building a website in blocks, because it allows me to really organize this content and make sure that things look good within their own places. So we have different banners. We really only going to need one of these, so we can actually get rid of. That's what these are. Each one of these little elements here is a different one of these scrolly bars. So I see I can scroll over. No, we're going to have two. We're just going to do one for the sake of this video. And this is a carousel section, but who cares? It is a single carousel today. Let's see. We'll add Spaceship. Flying spaceship. Okay. And I know we need to actually add something different, something a little bit more oomph. We will do this guy ordering some coffee. Who doesn't love coffee, right? Alrighty. Boom. We got that. Let's just start there. We'll just see what this change made, just so you guys get a visual, because doing this stuff, it's going to take time. You need to just relax. It'll be okay. Often, this stuff can get pretty stressful because it just doesn't show you exactly what you want. And I 100% understand. But look at that. Just a little bit of time. Look at that. It's beautiful. I mean, it could look better, but I mean, this is a great start, especially if this is your first page. Cool. Here's something else. Maybe I want to change that color of the from 250. But I mean, look at this. I mean, we got something going here. We have this. We got a button here. We can send somebody to something. We don't have it tied to anything, but we can always do that. Alrighty. Moving along further down the page, each of these wants an image. As you see here, look at that. They all want images. So we'll put in some images here. If you're ever wanting to edit a block, all you got to do is hit this little edit icon, little pen, little pencil. And then if you're ever wanting to copy an exact element, you can just hit the little double clone section here. And then obviously the X, as always, is the permanently delete. So don't hit that button unless you need to. Don't hit the red button, guys. Don't hit the red button. Alrighty, we'll let this update. We'll call this, what is this, Campus Life. Let's go adlabs life, because you guys all want to work with us. I understand if you don't. It's okay. Cool. We're editing this first column, content box. So how I know what I'm messing with here, again, probably should have started this in the very beginning of it, but you have the general, you have design options. Design options, this here is the primary color of that box of this section here within this element. So the base color, you see it's currently white. That's what this is. There's nothing assigned to it, so it's going to automatically be whatever the background is. And then use the font family from the theme. This is just making sure that it does what we want it to do. Button design options. Will you load? No, you won't load. You will not load for us. Okay, and then this stuff here, element IDs and class name. These are great for if you're doing CSS, HTML, JavaScript, one to make it look even more beautiful than what we currently have. Me personally, I don't do much, if any, JavaScript coding at all because, well, I will hire out for that because other people are 1,000 times better than me. And this is something really important to note. You don't need to go about learning a whole language if it's not a part of your business. Hire somebody to do this and you'll get some really good results without you having to do any effort besides, well, writing the paycheck. So we're gonna change this image here. Hit the plus sign sometime today. We're going to do this. We're going to just choose that image. Boom. We're going to just go about and do this for every single one of these guys just to get this going so you guys can get something and see a great little example of a page. Now, I'm wanting this to be a little bit of a longer video for you guys because I want this to work as a nice little tool. Hopefully without me having to edit any of it. So that you guys can build your guys' pages, get comfortable with something, and realize that, you know, you don't need to pay all that much for tools these days. I know some businesses are out there, let's not use that one. I know some businesses are out there paying a couple $100s a month for hosting, a couple $100 for website management, and all of these other things. I think I did that one, and it just isn't needed most of the time because you can get some really simple tools out here that auto update some things, and you can, as you see, you can get pretty quickly get a pretty beautiful looking website, given if all the front end work's been done, and in just a little bit of time. And again, I would totally recommend that you hire somebody to do this because it does take a lot of learning, and there really is a lot more to this whole web development process than what I'm showing you here. But this is just the building section. And this is a great thing for everybody to take a look at, because you need to know what's going on behind your site, at least in the basic sense. So that way you know if you're getting ripped off or not, and you can try to do some things for yourself if needed. Let's see, I think we've gotten almost all of these. Okay, almost done. Let's get this. Let's do that. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. I'm going to share this around. I want to make sure you guys are getting all good information and seeing the value out of something like this, because so many people are out there using all these tools, which, again, not knocking the tools. The tools are great. I just think that until you get to a certain point in your business as far as size and structure, you don't need to be paying for too much. Really, I mean, anything under a couple $1,000,000 a year, you shouldn't be going out and paying for hundreds and $10,000-$20,000 a month in tools. So just take that as a grain of salt. Let's see. Boom. We got this. We did this. We updated that. And look at that. You know, I would say that is not too shabby for doing nothing as far as hard work. I mean, look at this. Boom. Let's say we had different elements, different animations or designs in there. And then we got our simple pricing plans. We can have all of these buy now buttons tied to a different page of the site. And then we have another section here, sort of does like a little, testimonial section. Cool. And then the only thing we have left here is, well, I realize that this custom menu honestly sucks to the point that I don't feel like using it for it because, well, look at this. This is horrible. So there's one thing to know here, guys, is oftentimes some of the things that you thought were going to be great, well, they are not 100% what you thought they would be. So don't be afraid to have to get some things shifted around, and just don't be afraid to delete stuff. The worst that's going to happen is, well, you lose everything, but let's just not think of it that way. Let's just say the worst thing that can happen is that you have to fix it again. Now, let's see here. Okay, let's just see what that looks like, right? All right, and then after this video, we'll go through and we will build the thank you page, because what we need to do then is we'll just leave this how this is, because I can show you how to go through all the rest of this and another series where we go and rebuild it all element by element. Alrighty, so the page is updated. We added images. That's all we really did. I showed you guys how to edit some things. We did this, and then look at that ugly footer page. But oh my gosh, we did it in 5 seconds. So I think it's pro status. I think we can do better, but at the same time, who the hell cares at this moment? I'm just trying to show you guys what is possible. And right now, you see that you guys can just paste stuff in here and it can look not too shabby. It does look a little bit 2001, but we'll deal with this. Okay, guys. So what we'll do is we'll finish up making a few more edits into the next video, and then we'll get started on building the thank you page for this page. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.